Welcome to the Self-Discovery Workshop. I'm glad you're here. I'm Reverend Stephanie Neal of the Krillian tradition of Wicca. We'll start with self-discovery through shadow work. Can it begin by identifying philosophies, standards, doctrines, dogmas others create? Many of these cause some to feel they will never measure up, and sometimes that's the point, and sometimes it isn't. The truth is, deity has created the best when she created the soul of which you are. Let us quickly take a look at Aristotle's 12 virtues. Considering these virtues lived to the extreme can bring troubles or stop one from living an authentic life. So here are Aristotle's 12 virtues. First is courage, and it's defined as bravery and valor. In my opinion, it takes courage to overcome a challenge or stand your ground for letting go. Then temperance, self-control or restraint. I would say the key word here is self. You can only control yourself on your own terms. We are not here to be controlled by another. Next is liberality. Sometimes it's interpreted as big-hearted or charity or generosity. The greatest gift to give another is giving, expecting nothing in return. Another great gift is being inside peace. Next is magnificence. I would say magnificence is more of a byproduct of how you live your life. It will just follow you wherever you go. Next is pride. Some describe this as self-satisfaction. But I would say, like every virtue here, pride can be a good thing or a bad thing. Pride is more than self-satisfaction. It is performing your best under circumstances you find yourself. Then there's honor. Some refer to this as reverence or admiration. I think of honor as always needs to be mutual and be willing to honor another first. Then good temper or level-headedness. Well, once in a blue moon, there are important issues where a verbal fight is required to stand up for yourself or another or a great purpose. Passionately fighting for what is right is how most injustices are remedied. Silly arguments that you will not remember a year from now. Now that's a waste of time. Not talking about that. And yet you can still fight the good fight without losing your temper. Friendliness. Well, friendliness is nice, and that's pretty straightforward. And I would just basically say, don't take your friendships for granted, for they are pure gold and support in life. Then there's truthfulness, candor, frankness. Now, frankness Do not expect everyone to agree with your truth, especially when it comes to feelings. Then there's wit. Some equate this with a sense of humor, and that can be, but there is more to wit than a sense of humor. A quick-wittedness is thinking fast, on your feet, always a good response when trying to smooth raging waters. Then there's friendship and camaraderie. I would say this is like friendliness, which was above, and which is the same. But the concept of friendship is the same, I think, in both terms. And start every relationship with openness and non-judgment. Then lastly, justice, impartiality, and even-handedness. These are, I would say, next to impossible to do, yet never stop reaching for even-handedness and impartiality. But meting out justice at times is a hard, long road to walk. Do not allow any of these virtues to be used as a hammer that you hit over the head, or don't use these to manipulate you. In fact, you decide what is each virtue, because there are many other concepts that were not listed here, and yet I realized that we can't write every single, well, Aristotle couldn't write every single good thing because it was supposed to be a short list. But it's what you decide, what you want on your list. In fact, create your own list, your own virtues, not to be used as a measuring stick, your values that make life better, not a burden. Now we're moving on to how to untangle from attachments and shadows. All right. Generally, shadows are personality traits that cause an individual to be affected by fear or apathy or pain, clouding some perceptions within one's life. A shadow is a part of us that has been shamed, or a part of us that is fearful, or a part of us that is insecure, or has been hurt in the far past, maybe even another life. These parts show up in many ways within our lives. We have been taught that certain so-called truths will serve us well, when actually they have been colossal entanglements or blocks or veils, definitely strong sedatives that prevent us from living in our full potential and full self-expression. So as you travel through the land and sea with the goddess, you will see outworn belief systems, philosophies, and doctrines unraveling before your eyes, returning you back to your very core, seeing maybe for the first time that all shadows are opportunities for transformation. So with that said, let us look at several statements or scenarios that entangle, or at least on the surface, they seem to be helpful, but they're only a shadow. The following statements I have heard from others while working with them as a spiritual counselor through the long decades, or just chatting with a friend. These are common statements and beliefs that are not beneficial for you in the short term or long term. 1. Are you sure you know what you are doing? Have you ever heard that? Even if the individual means no harm, they have placed a small seed of doubt where there was none before. So shake that self-doubt off of you and move forward with your plans. 2. This statement is, it is important to be balanced in everything. All right, well, nature herself does not live in balance you all the time, because you can go ahead and try, but will never be in balance, in perfect balance with everything all of the time. In fact, when things slide out of balance, that is when change happens. Now that is a surety. If you find yourself in balance, that is good. If you find yourself sliding out of balance, this is good too. The next statement. Once there is unity, everything falls in place. Unity means different things to different people. Come together, yes. Then what? Lots of hard work, process, planning, follow-up, and follow-through. So many skills, so many skill sets, so many personalities. I prefer our goal is first to gather in unity, then move forward in harmony. The next statement. Be patient and wait for opportunities or justices to come to you. Too many individuals and marginalized groups have been given this advice or promise for hundreds of years, even centuries, or some received this statement for several years, all the while waiting. This is a new era where the marginalized have been waiting much too long, tired of being patient, tired of waiting for their full rights or full opportunities to be given, and they never come. It is time to create new foundations based on magic and inclusiveness for all. When that happens, the earth will not fall off its axis, but rejoice. If something has been promised to you and it never happens after years, then guess what? The promises will not be given. This is a time for bravery, a time to find your voice and speak out for yourself and for others. The next statement. We do all in perfect love and perfect trust. If a worldwide tradition needed to wait for perfect love and perfect trust, nothing would ever get done, though we all strive every day for perfect love and perfect trust in all we do. Next, remember your limitations. Now, this phrase is such a manipulative statement, or at least introducing a little self-doubt. Remember, you are a limitless being, able to travel anywhere, anytime, to any person. You are a witch, created by a creator that created a creator, you. Next, I need to first learn everything about that job or task before I apply for it. Now, most men say, I don't know everything about this job, but I can just learn as I go. That is the correct answer. That is the correct approach. Yes. Next statement. It's more of a suggestion. Be aware of microaggressions toward you or another. Do not let anyone stop you with these assaults. Next, I cannot do that because of these 20 reasons or 40 reasons. Be aware of self-sabotaging. Sometimes we come up with too many reasons why we cannot go after what we really want. If you want, go ahead and be talking about all those reasons, but go for what you really want, and you'll see the reasons melt away. Next, you are too opinionated. Well, how about opinions? Let me think of it this way. How many opinions am I allowed to say? You could respond that way. You see, you are allowed to have as many opinions as you like, and there are folks out there that would love to have a nice long conversation to exchange opinions. There's nothing wrong with having opinions. Next, I would rather be friends or work with someone that believes what I believe. All right, I would say try to have as many opportunities to be with folks not like you that are from many places. In this way, everyone learns tremendous things by being different. Not everyone approaches life the same, and that is wonderful. Next, a transaction agreement, friends. Which I mean, if a friend consistently says, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. This friendship will only last as long as you are giving something to this friend. If you enjoy that, if that doesn't bother you, that the friendship is set up this way, then so be it. Next statement. Look, this is simple. It is either black or white. Choose one. Now that statement is the furthest thing from the truth, though some folks do see their life in black and white terms, which means they are missing most of what is going on around them, or upset most of the time because their world is not aligning with this belief. You see, most people live in the gray areas. There is much more to enjoy and see there. All the nuances, all the approaches in life broadens your horizon. Both black and white thinking and the many hues of gray are good. Is one just more expansive? Yes, yes. Next. The next statement. I know how you exactly are, or I know what you are. Or another way I heard it is, I know how you operate. Well, all those statements do not allow anyone to define you because they are always wrong. It is you who defines yourself. Taking others, suggestions with a grain of salt. Next, my partner does not meet my every need. They're supposed to if they really love me. I've heard that many times, and my suggestion is in a relationship, be it marriage or living with a significant other, it is not their job to keep you happy. That is your job, because no one on this planet can fulfill all your needs or wants at any given time. This kind of attitude brings too much stress on the relationship. Your partner will do things for you because they want to, not because they are forced to perform. That's stress. Of course, you try to take care of each other in your own terms, your own way, showing your love for each other because you want to. Next, this is not a statement but a scenario, and I would term this big expectations. If you walk into a scenario having high expectations of what another person is supposed to do for you, you will be disappointed every time. They never measure up to your high expectations, but they don't have to measure up to your expectations. So allow yourself to enjoy the person the way they decided to present themselves to you. Unless they are treating you badly, well, that's a different story. Next, you must make goals for yourself. There are people that never make a single goal and live a perfectly happy life. Having goals are good, and having no goals are also good. Next scenario. Another person explaining what is a successful life for you. Then you try your hardest to live up to their definition of success for your life. Now, success can only be defined by you because It is your life that you're living. Now we're going to talk about shadows. Although we think we see the world clearly, some of us see through a veil or many veils. We think we know what reality is for ourselves and even for others, but we do not. Some veils have been lovingly placed on us by our parents, by our teachers, our friends, our culture. However, most veils are placed on our heads by our own hand. We think we have keen insight on other people's lives, interpreted not as they really are, but seen through veils on our own head. Some of us think our training and experiences are superior to any other training or culture. Some value or devalue others by our own shadows, giving impossible standards which only cause us to move apart from one another instead of moving closer to one another. We can change this by focusing on dissolving our shadows, while other individuals focus on dissolving their own shadows, bringing everyone back into harmony, where all are supporting and strengthening one another. As we deal with our own shadows, we are rewarded. As we explore our shadows, our gifts are more prominent, automatically rising up to replace every shadow that is dissolved. Situations change around us. We focus no longer on the shadow or its results. Instead, our focus is on our gifts. Situations change around us because we change. As we change, we may find it easier to not give the physical realm our complete attention, replacing it with spirit, but remembering never to lose focus on the physical realm completely, for it is important to have one foot in both worlds. Exploration beyond the physical ushers all of us to a place where we become aware that our focused thoughts become and is our reality, where we realize that all realities are mutable, all physical realities are a veil. To enter the portal of cosmic omnipresence is to look beyond our physicality, beyond our mentality, to run toward the limits of reality and find none. Thus, boundaries are eliminated. We are all here learning and experiencing different lessons in different ways that we pre-chose before we popped into this reality plane. We chose to be here at this time and to hopefully experience life to its fullest and work on solutions for the coming future. Now, a few people go out of their way to do the opposite, to keep from fully living, which is their divine choice. It is their business. There is no right or wrong in that. Due to our choices, we all perceive our world as reality. And truthfully, it is not reality in its fullness. It is only a small part of the entire picture, and yet the entire universe resides inside. Our limited minds cannot completely perceive all of what is right here, right now. Yet our divine minds, that is connected to all realities. Open-minded folks excel at this concept. These are people who are willing to step out of their comfort zone, their physical minds, to see their divine mind through meditation, deep lucid dreaming, astral journeying, and or living life willfully with purpose. It is imperative to understand that everyone works on different life lessons using different methods. No two people have the same reality or the same awareness of consciousness. However, we all are able to clearly see and explore our divine connection through our higher selves, not through anyone apart from us. So ask yourself, what restrictions are you placing on yourself? What part of your life are you overcomplicating? Whom are you blaming? Of what are you fearful? Are you allowing your past or fears to make your decisions for you? There is not one excuse we can use that can stop us, even if the excuse is, I have nothing. That is still not a valid reason not to move forward and to achieve a living, beautiful life on your terms. Because this is your life. You see, you have everything you need inside. It frightens some people to think that we are directly connected to everything. Thus, it scares some to take on accountability and find answers for ourselves because we are physically oriented, time oriented, and space bound. All these boundaries become our veils also, making us forget what we have learned in past lives, causing apathy in our current lives. Thus, fear and apathy become security blankets that we hold on to for dear life. All of us know deep inside, within our souls, that we are working on a much larger plan than any human behavior modality has ever fathomed. We are getting glimpses of how immense we are, how important we are. All our varied aspects of our development are in fact divinity's development through us and us through her, because we were always a part of deity from the very beginning. It is an impossibility to be apart from deity. We are her hands. We are her eyes. We are her clear voice. We are her movements. She explores herself through us. She unfolds her universe through us, for us. She expands through us as we expand through her. You are a queen because she is. The Tibetan Buddhist teacher Longchenpa once said, quote, "Since everything is but an aberration, perfect in being what it is, having nothing to do with good or bad, acceptance or rejection, one may well burst out in laughter." Close quote. Look, you are a bold witch, living life big with no excuses. You love who you want to love. You fully embrace self-expression. You do not allow anyone to quiet you. You are wisdom. You fight for what is right. You have the strength and brilliance of the most distant stars. You celebrate the seasons of the year and the stages of womanhood and manhood. You are a radiant witch. Embrace the joy of living life with full expression and awareness. Allow yourself to discover your hidden abilities while nourishing your true nature. All people have been given so many untruths about themselves that have caused them not to live to their full potential. Once we identify those untruths that are holding us back, we are able to begin clearing that issue on our own terms, entering our divine purpose as a witch, fully prepared to work as pioneers, doing our part, remembering we were always inside our divine purpose from the beginning. However, now we are conscious of and more aware of our divineness, and that our own divineness can never be fully expressed apart from love. Our divineness can never be fully expressed through just one life. Yet here we are, walking this earth, expressing Goddess by our life. We are living love letters. We walk with and for the Goddess. We are her beating heart. Together in harmony, we are agents of change. This is Reverend Stephanie Leon Neal, First Priestess of the Krillian tradition. Until next time, blessed be.